Are we doing it yet?
Okay, we're live. We are live. Craig Martelle here, coming to you live from the subarctic on this Saturday. It is Saturday. It's not raining here. Where are you coming to us from, Michael?
I am coming from Henderson. It is certainly not raining here, although they do call it the monsoon season. I learned this year. I thought was hilarious until I finally realized the monsoon season is because it's humid. There's 30% humidity in the air, and ergo, it's a little bit more, which unfortunately also caused problems because we had AC issues. We found out last Saturday night. I walked into my downstairs closet. It was flooded, and that's not supposed to be flooded with water. And we had an AC unit, which, of course, if it's monsoon season, means it's pulling the most humidity it could. I've been dealing with AC all week long. It sucks. You have to do the mitigations and the fans, and it's just like, oh man, why would anyone choose this? So,
I don't even own an air conditioner where I live. It's just, it it was. I ran out to get water this morning. It was 43 degrees. 43.
okay, but that would be
I'm
like
wearing my
you not
sweatshirt.
living with heat. If you had no heater, you could not survive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, we have like three different heat sources. Also, for our viewers, this is the 100th episode. So,
Oh
if you
yes.
could please tell us where you're coming from in the world, so we know. We'll be giving some gifts away today. We've got a big list of stuff. We have a crack team of awarders, of giveaway gifters, of grifters. No,
I was
that's
going
not
to say
right.
we're the
Um,
givers, and we don't. They're not gift grifters. Listen,
they're,
it
they're
does where
selectors.
actually we have 100th episode. Every 5 minutes, y'all are going to give us something. This is fantastic.
We're
No,
going to give something away.
we're giving something away.
Yeah, AC issues. As we have three different heat sources here. So, unlike you, where you have an air conditioner, we have pellet stove heat, we have electric heat, we have baseboard heat or heat in our floors, and then we have a kerosene heater as well. So we have four different heat sources to keep our lines from freezing if the primary one, our boiler, goes out.
Oh man,
And our
that's
boiler
getting
runs
rough.
on fuel oil because this is Alaska.
I'm not sure how to take that. I mean, I look out through the window behind you, and you have all of those wonderful trees. They would burn, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. People do burn. There's a lot of wood burning up here. We went with pellets because I like more on simple. I set the thermostat. I make sure the stove is full, and it works. Uh, with uh, with firewood, you actually have to cut it, split it, stack it, dry it, and then actually start the fire. Which I'm not a good fire starter, so on myself, yes, but not in the stove.
Is
So
that where your hair went?
there's it's 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 better for survivalists if you're firewood, because pellets you have to make the pellets, but firewood, I mean, anybody can do that. Just so
Yeah.
and that's
And
where we are.
Craig,
That's where we are. So
congratulations
tell us in
on
the world where
100.
you are. Yep. What's that?
Congratulations on 100, Craig. From me to
Indeed,
you,
indeed.
congratulations.
Here we are, talking to the crowd. 20 books of 50K. You started it, man. You started it. So once again, for the 100th time, give us a quick overview on
Oh,
where were you when you came up with the 20 books to 50K concept.
uh, and it's funny because yeah, I've heard the mistaken explanation so many times, and I'm getting the real confused with the
And I've
mistaken. But
given mistaken ones too, just because disinformation is awesome.
but you're usually the cause of the disinformation.
I'm not
I
messing
was
with
in
people, but it's fun.
um I was actually writing in Cabo San Lucas. I was writing my second book, and no, my third book. Excuse me. I was writing my third book. I was paying attention to what was going on with my sales and my sales after the release of my third book. So it was sometime or right before my third book, but it was right at that time I was starting to make anywhere from, let's say, $10 to $15 a day, and then I started realizing I could make potentially average $7.50 a day or seven. And then I just, spreadsheeted it and looked out there and said, oh, if I could write 20 books, just ignorance is bliss. Just 20 books. And then, make this, I could make $50,000 a year and retire here in Cabo because Mexico, for Americans, Mexico requires you to have $3,000 of income every month from outside the country. In general, that's its requirement. And so I was like, I could retire my wife here and I could just keep writing and have a good life. And because it was so much cheaper there. I had learned or figured out that just the taxes alone in Texas, my home state, where I was born, I live in Nevada now, but back there, $1,000 a month I would be paying in taxes, regardless if I had paid my house off or not. And so I looked at it and said, $1,000 here in Mexico was everything but my food. That included, assuming that both houses would have been paid off, Texas and here, equivalent. That would included taxes, which was going to be somewhere around maybe 40 bucks, 50 bucks a month taxes on approximately equivalent cost. And then included, just everything, my electricity, my power, my internet. Just and so it looked like a good deal at the time. And that was 20 books to 50K. That was my personal thing. But then I started helping four fans of mine that, I was writing, and they said, I'll answer questions in my Facebook group. Four fans stepped up, started asking questions, and so I said, you know what? Let me start a group called, and I'm going to call it 20 books to 50K, based on myself, and I'll answer these questions to you. And then the next book came out, and I said, you know what? I'm getting a little tired and annoyed at this other group over here that's giving me crap. So I'll help some more people. I'll tell people what I'm doing, just like I'm telling these four. And I thought, you know what, Craig? I thought maybe four more would join. And now this group, with the help of so many people like yourself, like the admins and others, it's well over 40,000.
42,500. We passed that. And we have some, 50 to 200 people a day trying to join. So it's a rather significant effort. A big shout out to the admins for making it so. So let's do a giveaway. If you can, in the comments, tell us what you like best about 20 books to 50K, and just a one-liner comment, and our crack award team, selecting team, we'll pick one, and 5 minutes down the road we'll ask another question. So please go ahead, answer that, and we'll select a winner. And I think we've got the gifts all lined up for what they are, whether they're ebooks or physical copies of books, or a mentoring session, or an iPad from Michael, the unlimited access to a masterclass. All those you can listen to. James Patterson, you can listen to. I think Neil Gaiman is on there. There's quite a few. It's pretty intense, but you got to have internet. I had it one year and didn't watch a single episode because I don't have good internet. I do rate at the moment, thank goodness. So, because 100th episodes, even GCI recognizes I need to be online right now.
I saw a Yin Schultz thing going by. Try living in Cabo for 50 grand a year right now. Actually, you can. It doesn't really change much. You might not actually get as much because they've just been almost hit by their second hurricane of the season. So, little damage down there, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Actually, you might be able to do it easier. Yeah. They need the money.
But, yeah. I think everybody does. I mean, and when I talk with Sam's Town, as we drop down for 600 people right now for Vegas, the catering is like, we might have to charge you for if you use Sam's Town Live. So I'm looking at now, maybe we won't have Sam's Town Live for this one because we're going to have such a small number. So we might be upstairs in the 3 rooms because I just we don't have the extra budget to pay extra to have Sam's Live for a smaller crowd. But we sent out a note, Eastside Cannery cancel. But all of those things, and the conferences came about just because there were a lot of us who said, hey, we need to meet in person. This is it's great to be online. It's great to give hints, but man, you just can't beat.
No. You're okay. You're misinformationing this thing right now.
It's called revisionist history.
Yes,
I'm a master at it.
Yes. So do you want to admit, because it's on podcast before, so do you want to admit, without giving any names or anything like that, exactly how come? Yes, the group we're talking, that'd be wonderful. Of course, everybody in the group, because we've had this happen to us multiple times. Wouldn't it be wonderful if, and then that whatever if actually comes true, and the people who are all for it are nowhere to be found. It's crickets, related to doing it. But let's get don't misinformation. You were pissed. You were not happy and on a situation, and you said, you know what? Everybody says they want a place. I'll do it. And you had people jump on who said they would help. For whatever reason, they did not. And it just so happened that I had retired my wife right then. And so I was like, honey, we lived in Texas at the time. Craig really needs somebody to go take a look at hotels, because he was supposed to get this done like 4 months ago. And unfortunately, he's in Alaska. Doesn't, and for those who don't know, my wife loves Vegas. That was her screen name when we met on Match.com, was USC, the school she went to, loves Vegas. And so she was already in Vegas by the time I finished asking the question. I'm like, "Where the hell are you?" And the phone rings, and she's like, "Okay, I'm here. What do you need me to do?" And then so with Craig giving her the explanation, she drove around Vegas. But it was Craig and the fact that people were asking, but he was not particularly pleased with the situation. And he's like, "We're going to put something on." And then, of course, I raised my hand and said, "Craig," and by we mean you, right? You are going to put this on because I don't have the time.
We're going to put it on. We're going to make it $100 a person. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and
And
that was Craig.
amazingly, I geared it for 150 people, and 420 showed up that first year.
Yes.
So the very first year it became the biggest indie conference around, and I was pretty excited about that. But it really worked well, and here we are, 9 conferences later, ready for the 10th one, Vegas 2020, and
Oh,
it'll be
that's
great.
right. Okay, you're
So
taking all of the conferences from around the world. So what are
yeah,
all of the
yeah,
conferences? Do you know them in
yeah,
order
yeah. We
that
had
you did them?
we had Adelaide a couple times, and then
That's
a
not in
luncheon.
order.
So we've done Adelaide 3 times, but Michael has been there twice. Um, Bali once. We did
Yes.
Edinburgh. We did London, and we've done. This will be the 4th one in Vegas.
You've done something in Pittsburgh for people who joined up because I think I was speaking with
Did a
Ari on a
luncheon.
podcast. Yes, and then you also did it
We
in the
did.
not quite Los Angeles, but very close to.
Yeah, yeah. Not. Yeah. Not quite L.A. We did that one. Wood something. Riverwood. Wood. Get wood. Yeah. I don't know what wood something. I don't even remember. It's L.A.
Brentwood?
No, it's not
Brentwood?
L.A. It's
Yeah,
no. What's that?
that's what was happening too. It was one of those, you would say, "Hey, it's gonna be LA," and it's like it's not LA. This is very close to, but it's not. It's like, and then I think you got
Yeah,
upset somehow, and you're like, "I'm not going into LA. I refuse to be in LA." So I'm actually in this one, which is not LA, but very close to LA type situation.
yeah. I just can't do California. The so yeah. Lane, go pick somebody, and we'll move on. Um, Madrid next summer, man. Madrid, Woodland Hills. That's it. Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Woodland
yeah. That's it.
Hills.
That's where we went.
It's fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it was. Those luncheons are excellent. I mean, just getting people in a small group. The first time in Adelaide, we had 10 people in this tiny room in an Indian restaurant, and talking about air conditioning. We didn't have air conditioning. I was sitting in a sweat puddle. Yeah, finished. But it was. I mean, getting to meet people and talking to people. That's a great thing about this group as well, that we're able to get together. So we need to ask another question. Ask a question, Michael, for people to answer, and we can give something else away. What did we
what do
give
you?
away, Elaine? Did they miss it?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what's Eric Everest. Oh, yeah, Eric talking about the fact that we were on Runnymede on the Thames, not actually London, but just close to. My question would be, what do you believe is going to be the main item to focus on in your business in 2021 as we finish it out this year? That would be my question. Yeah, don't ask me for the simple ones like, what is the color of the cup that Craig is drinking? Yeah, I'll ask the harder ones.
Now, main thing for 2021. I think
Yes.
since we're going to have on the 2020 bingo card, we have aliens for 2020. So I think we're going to have that fall out, because that'll calm everybody down to be like, holy cow, there really are aliens. Oh my God, it'll change the whole dynamic of the world. And then so 2021, I think Godzilla comes out of the ocean, and maybe we'll have the aliens on our side to fight them. I'm not sure. Uh, uh, that's in my world. The aliens would be on our side fighting Godzilla, helping us against that beast.
Oh man, don't even go there. I have such, you know me, I'm such tinfoil hat. I love getting into all of these things, and so I found a website that you can pay for to listen to what what they've created, which is a bunch of esoteric videos related to anything from um, brain consciousness, energy rocks to aliens to secret military things, and they were going. I was watching last night. The ones about the World War II, the Nazis, the Bell, the creation of the anti-gravity, antimatter, red mercury, the liquid red mercury. I didn't even know that was a thing until I was going through that. And then you had Tesla, and you had something Brown. I mean, an individual who was into physics that I had no idea who this person was, and so I'm just fascinated by this. And but the problem is, even within all of the different videos that are just on this one place, and it's called Gaia, by the way, GAIA.com, which is a write-off, by the way. If you're here in America, I'm using it because it's a write-off for my writing to give all this new information, which I need, and I'm curious about it too. So how nice. But even inside there, you'll find conflicting. This is what's happening right now. The very conflicting misinformation. So you just have to pick whichever version you want. Is everybody that's an alien is actually human based? Humanoid based? Is it not? Is it do we really have all of these things? So anyway, that's not what's the best thing. For me, I'll just say awareness. Creation of awareness of your products and your author or authors that are in your group, if you're a publisher, is the main thing in 2021 is you try to cut through all of the crap that's going on that's going to grab the attention of those potential readers. So whether that's you're doing Facebook advertising, you're doing online social, whatever you're doing, awareness for me is one of the most important things in 2020.
For me, for 2021, I've got my new thriller series. The first two books will come out at the end of this year, and we'll see if they're resonating. If I've gotten traction, to then I have two books planned to write in 2021. So I'm going to go in the direction of whatever is selling the best and exploit success, shall we say? So that's my plan is be open and be ready to go in the right direction to maximize profitability. Right now, I'm building a much greater readership on my newsletter, so I will use that to the advantage of selling whatever is selling best. So that's my plan for 2021: is flex appropriately. Go ahead, Elaine. Award something new, and let's move on to the next question because. Hey, we'll just keep answering that question. Award something to somebody there, and we'll keep answering that question, and we'll give another award, another gift for somebody else. So,
yeah, so 2021, I answered for 2020, and I think that going forward, awareness is probably going to be a major component. We have focused inside of our company related to unscrewing up ourselves. Now, Craig, in his infinite wisdom, in Australia this year, took the story of me telling Stephen um, Campbell and Lynn Stigler, who help run kind of the operations and editing, respectively, and I told them, cover the ears. This is what I really said, cover the ears of those around you. But I said, 2020 is going to be a year on fucking ourselves, because we had grown so fast that there were so many things that were just broken, whether it happened to be with strategies, tactics, operations, legal, whatever it was, they were kind of broken, and we needed to fix it. So we didn't have any book goals, whereas 2019 we were shooting for 400 new releases. And so Craig somehow found that story and changed it to Mike needs to unscrew up himself.
I was standing next to you when you told the story, so I clearly knew what you meant more than you did.
No, he clearly did not. So
I was having heart problems at the time. You should show some mercy.
You're this way if you're having a heart problem or not.
You got it wrong. You got Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy. It's Moops. It's Moops.
You were, but so that's even better. I mean, because we were in Australia and we had just come off the stage. In Australia by this time, this is the third Australia event that Craig had done. And it had moved from apparently an Indian restaurant in year one. I'm glad I missed that one. Year two, I was there and you had moved to a hotel. And, people had gotten, it was a very large executive conference room, is really kind of what
Yeah.
it was. And it was a fantastic lunch with an amazing filet mignon. Oh, yeah. So, but year three now, we're actually in a fairly large room, and there's quite a few people out there in the audience. And so you were bringing people in with videos, so you have plenty of experience doing this already. And
We
so
brought
you and
Mal
I were,
Cooper in from the United States. Yeah,
yeah.
it's cool.
So we were, so you and I were sitting at a little, I think it was, I don't think it was the upstairs one. I think it was just one of those little chairs that you will, the benches that were out in the hallway. And I'm looking over you going,
Yeah.
it's unscrewing ourselves, not me. I didn't say I was the one that needed to be unscrewed for a whole year. It sounds better this way. That was your comment. It flows better this way. I'm
See, I'm taking care of you. So you're welcome.
like, you're thanks. Absolutely. All right. So they just
But
gave
there.
away the prize, I think.
All right, Laura Burton. Well, way to go, Laura Burton. The one thing that we recognized after 2017, and people started to take responsibility for their own careers using information and trying things that other people tried on 20 books to 50K. Come 2018, 2019, we saw that, hey, we're changing lives. The
Yeah.
group is actually providing a forum where people can get the information they need to make the most from their businesses. And that's as I always say, we never set out to change lives, but we are, and that's kind of humbling because it's just, hey, we're just sharing what we've done. Other people are sharing what they've done. People can ask a question and they share answers, and people will comment. And you'll get all kinds of different answers, and you'll say, "Hey, I like this one. I can do this," and you put that uh, in, into your process, into your marketing, and then, hey, it works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you try something different because there's a lot of options. What we're doing is we just load up this massive buffet, and you pick and choose what will work for you, what you can manage with your time, with your financial resources, with your friends, with your genre that you write, because some things don't allow for other things. So, because erotica, the reason I watch the erotica authors is because they can't advertise like we can. It's easy. Hey, Facebook ads, Amazon ads, but
He's just
the
too.
erotica author
That's why.
can't CH tingle. So the but you look at that, and those are just different ways to get your book out there. I mean, sandwich board. Hey, here's a picture of my book, and standing out on the door. You'll realize that doesn't really work as much as reaching those tendrils out there. And we've got a lot of different things that people can do that you can try, from low cost to high cost to everything in between to no cost. And that's a lot of the group has started with that no cost, with the
Yeah.
bootstrap effect. I know I published my first book having not spent a single penny because I did my cover myself in PowerPoint. Yeah, yeah.
That is,
And
I don't know why
then
you support that so much.
fucking PowerPoint,
I
man, I'm a
I had
god.
16 colors in my crayon box. Yes.
I had I had all 8 fonts that they allowed me. Um,
And
yeah,
still use
nobody
them
uses
all.
Algerian anymore. Algerian isn't unique. Don't use it. The so there we go. Yeah, time again. Award something, Elaine. Make it happen.
This is really, wow, this stuff is going by so fast. I have a question for you. I'm
Yeah,
curious. So, you know me well enough. I know that a lot of people probably assume a lot of things about me, but in general, I really am insular. I'm introverted, and I don't know what necessarily is out there, good things about me, right? So, what did you think the first time you saw the two rules before they got politically corrected? I don't say politically. How about socially simplified?
those two rules are a good foundation for a selfless approach to a mutually beneficial bulletin board. Because I know you grew up in that era where it was a
Yeah.
bulletin board. It was a BBS that you logged onto and you shared some stuff, and
Thanks for
and it
admitting
was a
how old I
different
am.
world because well also you didn't have that direct contact with other people that you could just shoot lasers at them. So you put those rules in place saying, hey, don't do this, but here, do this. And that was much better. Share what works for you. And that has worked. That has made 20 books of 50K exceptional in that we don't tell other people what to do. We don't say, I heard. I personally, that one aggregates the crap out of me. Hey, on this other board, they were talking about this. What do you guys think? Because I was actually, I used to be somebody and got interviewed by the press all the time. And those ass white dickweeds would twist what you said. And yeah, okay, sorry, don't turn the sound down. No, I mean, I utterly despise them because they would ask you to comment on something that was speculation and it wasn't real. It's like firsthand knowledge only. How about we just talk about, I saw this, I tried this, and it worked or it didn't work. So personally, I'm not a big fan of I heard or I saw this elsewhere. What do you think? No, I'm not commenting on that. I'm not here. Here's what I did. Now I can talk about that because I know firsthand what
Yeah.
I did and I know the results. So that's why the rules are in place. And we've added other rules because people have tried to edge in with other things, but really comes down to the two basic things. Be kind, the new version. And
I still think mine was a little bit more to the point.
it was in your face. We're not
No,
going to talk about
okay.
that, though.
Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry I even started that tingle.
But yeah, be
Sorry.
kind and no self promo. And this is a big thing, and it's just it works for the group.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't like media. We know that now because I got interviewed by them one too many times because they had a freaking agenda. Dickweeds.
It doesn't take much. This is fairly much the conversation sometimes Craig and I have whenever I call him going, hey, what are you doing? And then just a rant starts because I don't typically get out on social media and stuff, so I don't necessarily know what's happening. And then, but Craig will, so he's my person on the street, so to speak. And then he'll just go into something. I'm like, apparently I'm missing something.
We see 20 bucks of 50. What a good group of people. What a good
Yeah.
group of people that they can. That so many of them leave their politics at the door. I'm friends with thousands of authors, and I mean there are people who are firebrands, who are passionate about issues that are important to them, and are very public about that. But then when they come over to 20 books of 50K, we ask, please stay on topic, which is the business of being a self-published author. And I really appreciate that people come over and they focus on what's the business of being a self-published author, and we stay on that track.
Yeah, so that's pretty fantastic. Last time I looked, it was I think over 5,000 people that were actually kicked out. I mean, it's a significant number of people that are no longer here. Um, what? Whacking is no
The
idea.
rules make
No.
the group professional. Yeah, I know we go on these rants on the CNM show, but it's still about the quality of the group and the information you get, because this is your business. So I look at this
Yeah.
as like a Rotary Club meeting or a professional development in a way that you can be better at your business and not a bunch of people standing around the water cooler bitching about another author. I mean, we don't do that. We don't do name and shame. We don't say, "Oh my God, can you believe I saw this?"
Yeah.
How does that help your business? Tearing down any other author does not help your business. So what are you doing to get one more sale? And like I made zucchini cake yesterday. I did a video of that. I
I called in the middle of that.
me baking. 13 minutes worth. It actually only took me 13 minutes to mix that up. I baked it for 50 minutes, and then like another 3-minute video where I took it out, popped it out, put it on the cooling rack, and showed people. And it is fantastic.
Yeah. What did you really
Fantastic.
enjoy it? Because I called you right at the end of that. And so I'm like, you're making
Yeah.
what? And then you would like zilp out, I did cake. I'm like, all right, I got the cake, but I'd swear
Zucchini
I
cake.
misunderstood that first word.
Zucchini
Yeah, you
cake.
came in perfectly fine. I'm like, no, it's not the phone. He actually did mean to say zucchini. I don't get it.
Yep. Yep.
Those two words don't belong
Oh,
together.
shred it up and put it in there. Oh man, it makes it nice and moist. Oh, it's so yummy. But I packed those up, and I got, because they cooled off quickly enough, and I packed them up and I mailed them out yesterday to 5 fans in the U.S. So hopefully they'll get them. It's Monday. Hopefully all of them will arrive on Monday, and they'll be enjoying zucchini cake with their morning coffee because they
And
can.
I love you, dude, but there's no effing way I'm gonna eat any zucchini cake. I don't care if you send it to me from Alaska, packed in Alaskan ice. It's just not happening.
I packed an Alaskan packing peanuts. So
Oh my goodness gracious. And thank you, by the way, by everyone who's making the comments that, just not only how you appreciate how 20 books is run, which, that's really gratifying. There's so many, the reality is it's people helping people with a group of people, making sure those that are wandering off into the weeds for good or bad reasons are kept in line. And that's at the end of what's going on. And so for the admins, those that are not Craig and Mike, thank you so much from myself, because there wouldn't be a 20 books without the time that you spend now, and the admins who stepped down in the past, who've given a year of their lives to help try to run this. It's pretty amazing. And then
yeah,
so the constant effort of trying to make it easier on the admins so that we don't burn half of the United States away or the world away who's trying to help us on this, is it's really appreciated. And so, it's kind of like one of those, think an admin today for that.
indeed, indeed. So maybe our final gift, the masterclass video we give to, or one of the gifts, masterclass video we give to one of the admins instead
Yeah.
of
No,
the folks commenting.
we can add another iPad and just give away another iPad to someone in the group, in the admin group.
Okay.
Happy to do that.
Okay. So we'll add an iPad to one of the admin team. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
select wisely. The but the group, I do spend a lot of time in the
Thank you,
group
Pippa.
and on the conferences and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But that's I have to give back, and it's that I think that's why Michael and I melded so well when we first met. Was we both are compelled to give back. Neither Michael nor I make any money off the group in any way,
Oh, that's something I wanted
and
to talk about.
it's
It,
always that way. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that will probably never come out, you know. But one of the things that you and I have spoken about that I feel it'd be interesting to talk about is the fact that this is nonprofit. Only as much as it's nonprofit because you and I only basically put money or try to get it to where we don't have to spend too much money
Yeah,
into the different things that are going on. And in that way, it has made us remarkably resilient against attacks. Because the answer is like, okay, we're going to do something that you could lose 10,000 people overnight. And our answer would be, and that's going to hurt us absolutely zero because we make no money from this. So it doesn't matter if people go away. If they don't like the two core rules and all the ancillary ones, that's okay. The fact that it's like, and we've had people get upset at us because we don't allow them to advertise or we don't allow them to do something. And we're like, it's a free world. It's a free internet to speak. Go make your own group. We're not stopping you. We're just saying that stuff's not
yeah.
happening here. And so the fact that we don't try to make money and monetize this is really liberating and has been for the last 4 years.
It does, and also the conferences. We don't take
Hmm.
sponsors, and we go at cost. So it also liberates us in that we're not beholding to anyone, and that makes
Hmm.
it makes it so much better for us. It gives us a lot of flexibility that others don't have. where they have to have sponsors, and then they have to give the sponsors so much time and space and things like that. We don't. I mean, now we take care of the good folks who take care of us, like Amazon. Hey, you're going to bring 14 people. We'll make sure you get space. We'll give you the corner of the room so you can meet with people. Well, Amazon's not coming. No, none of the big industry providers are coming to Vegas this year. But Podium is coming. I talked to them. They're coming, all three of them. President of Podium is coming. Bookbrush is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Wiley confirmed, yes, I am coming. So please, if there's anything I can do to help, like, great. So those kinds of things, people stepping up, and mutually beneficial is what we're going for. It's nice to be working with Amazon at that level for all of our people, with Kobo, with Drafted Digital, with all of with Publish Drive, with all of the good folks who support us. We couldn't do what we do if we didn't have these providers. We didn't have the distributors. So that's why we don't allow railing on any of the distributors, because it doesn't benefit you. Now, an issue that we can bring up and talk behind the scenes to maybe get clarified or corrected, that's different than just saying Amazon's the devil. That benefits no one. So that because, hey, they're 85% of the market, of the ebook market. So you kind of might want to not demonize them. And no, you don't have to get in bed with Satan. That's not it.
Well, those are all subjective statements. They are.
Yeah.
I mean, I recognize when in the beginning, it's like you looking at it, it's like, look, there's no one way up the mountain, which is, my version of explaining how to do this. There's no one way up the mountain. People who absolutely can make it wide and doing a fantastic job, people can try to follow them, take it step by step, and it doesn't work. People who, I've shared exactly how it is I've made my money. Some people follow it and do better. First month out, over 50 grand in the first month. Others can't follow it for nothing. It just doesn't work for them. And so, that's the hashtag probably. It probably will work, but it will not work in all cases. And so one of the benefits that I personally like is the fact that, I take no money for this. Ergo, I don't have to be woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning going, this thing you said works, doesn't work. It's like, I just told you what worked for me. That was it. That was the highest quality level that I can prove. That's the only thing I can prove. So, and thank you very much for the comments and the questions about, did we ever think it would grow this big? I thought it might go to 8. So I've already answered that question. So Craig, how about you? How big did you think this might grow?
I was one of the voices that said, don't go for 5,000 because it will become unmanageable. But because of the good admins, because of the consistent rules, because the foundational group, there's so many people now who answer a lot of questions. I have no idea who they are. And originally we knew everybody. And so it's different, but it's still a rising tide floats all boats. So be the rising tide is what I tell people, because you can make a difference in somebody else's life. We also say, reach a hand back. No matter where you are on the mountain, you're farther than somebody else. And there are people who's like, well, I've only started writing my book. Well, there are people who say, I want to write a book, who haven't started. So you're ahead of somebody.
Yeah.
And this is, there's always some help you can provide, and there's always some help you can get. I see that Mark Dawson had Marie Force on his podcast the other day. She sold 10 million books. And she just started the Ads for Authors course because she thinks there's more out there that she's not tapping into. So there's always more that you can learn. And the industry changes enough. On 1 September, I heard that Facebook will not be accessible through iOS 14 for advertising. That every single person will have to opt in order for the information that advertisers use to target those readers. They'll have to opt in, and most people won't on Facebook. So Facebook's dynamic regarding advertising could change rather significantly for those people who only use their phones to buy books. So what's that going to look like on September 2nd? So the market is constantly changing, and you know that people here in 20 books of 50K are going to be at the front of that, finding out how do those changes, are those changing affect us, or how are they affecting us, and how can we then maneuver within these new New Rapids.
Absolutely. And to answer the question to Facebook user who started in 2016, that's actually the year we started. So we were very tiny at that time. But there was those things. How many admins does it take, Craig, to turn a light bulb? How many admins does it take to actually run this large group?
We have, I hate to say it, we have about 10 active admins.
Why do you hate to say that?
Because there's only 10 and they do put in a lot of time.
Yeah.
I would like to see 20, 30 active admins, but getting people on board, getting people who are committed like they are to the overall of that this is a not-for-profit, that this is do something for other people, and that we are asking an awful lot of those folks who are admins. I keep trying to add, and they're like, "We're good. Let's stay how we are." So as long as they're happy doing what they're doing, we're happy, and
whatever we could do
that's
to
what
make
it
their
is. So
job
it's about 10
easier.
active. We have about 20 total, I think, but we have
Okay.
10 who are very, very active.
Yeah. And at least it's not actually enough, but it's very difficult to grow the admin group with a sense of camaraderie and understanding. So it can only manage as large or as many as that can be actively managed. And I've been watching. This is most. I mean, for everyone who doesn't understand, Craig is the head admin. He's the one that actually sets the pace. He's the one that helps dictate a lot of things. I occasionally step in, but that's not my role. My role has been, you know, bring in perhaps ideas and suggestions on things, but and then I'll kick in from time to time. Um, it's been difficult as I've matured past indie author to indie publisher and then indie fairly large publisher. I don't know where we sit on the whole thing, but we're probably certainly one of the top three probably best well known indie publishers that are out there. Um, and we do travel the world. We do, last 20 books, one of the things that was on my heart as LMBPN would travel the world, we would go to Frankfurt and we went to China. We've been to the China book show twice. We've been to England. We've been, certainly to the New York one. And so it was all of those contacts that those that were in indie that were in 20 books, they could not get to. I mean, I don't personally know of anyone who's been to the China one. Um, but we were able to grab those contacts and make them over 2 to 3 years. And Judith was actually a big component of creating these relationships. But we were able to bring them back to Vegas. And let's just take Publishers Weekly as an example. It was a lot of haranguing. It was a lot of meetings, both here in Vegas and New York and England and Frankfurt. Yeah, we actually met him in all those places. But we got Kevin, second highest person. If you go look in Publishers Weekly website and see who it is, you're going to see the letter C, Evin, pronounced Kevin. Kevin was the first time I'd barely met him, but he was at the event last year and he was there for the opening in Samstown Live. And he's like, this is nothing like I've ever seen before. They had no concept because we were telling them, it's like, you really need to understand that what you're thinking of as indie, as in be in my garage type indie, that's not what we know as indie. And so to have the team come out was amazing and to really be able to, produce and show what was going on. And it changed traditional focused companies' minds. It blew their minds. I mean, last year,
Yeah.
Craig pointed out 14 Amazon, 6 Google. We had Ingram, which, if you didn't know, was $1 billion plus company. The highest people on the indie side in Ingram were there and blew their mind. And we're going to miss one of them this year. She retires.
Yeah.
But, it really is an opportunity to bring to the rest of everybody because we're here to teach how to fish. We're not here to fish for you. Just say that right up. Don't care really how much you like that or don't like it.
Yep. Yep. But that's and Robin Cutler from Ingram Spark. She was ahead of Ingram Spark. And she said specifically, I've been going to conferences for 30 years and I've never seen anything like this. She said, this is the best conference I've gone to. People are so nice. There's no competition, which that's some of the other folks who go to more traditionally focused conferences for writers. find that there is a competition. There is a hierarchy, and we've torn all of that down in such a way that, hey, we're all equal here, and that's the rising tide. It's all of us together. Got a
Yeah,
hair
I
there
mean,
that I got to get off my keyboard.
I'm, uh,
The rising the rising tide. We're all here together, and that's we look at other authors as peers.
yeah,
Peers, not prey. I say compatriots, not competitors. This is all of us together, and what people felt at the 2017 conference was they felt safe. What people feel in the group is I hope they feel safe, because if somebody gets attacked, it doesn't last for long. The admins will dive in and will remove those comments, even remove a person, because it doesn't help. Ad hominem attacks, even if somebody's way off base, it's like that might not be right, and have a private conversation with them aside. But it's still it's all of us together. We're peers,
yeah.
self-published authors. There's not, I'm a senior self-published author, I am a master self-published author. No, that's all crap. You're just, are
Who
you
would?
a self-published author or not? It's
Yeah,
binary. So yes or no. And hybrid, okay, yeah, we've got some trad books, but still, it's all of us together writing books, trying to sell one more book. How many books have you sold? Not enough. That's the standard answer, and that's what we give. Award somebody something. Give somebody something good. Come on, Elaine.
yeah. We got that. We got that. And then, yeah, the running meet on the Thames was an amazing situation as well. And except that I overslept. And then I carried my now probably 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old author who's sat in a chair for most of his life for the last 2 to 3 years, ran my ass from the farthest potential point that I could be at and still be considered in a room in the hotel to where it's going on is Craig is having to do the dance on stage, like because I was supposed to be up or something. And I come in and Craig, we could tell stories about how he's gotten me in the past, but I will forever, Craig, appreciate the fact that you gave me a few minutes to sit there and get my breath back. I was heaving. I'd love to say it was
Yeah,
because, running meat is just, high, but no, that wasn't it. I'm that out of shape.
it's well, we start on time, and that's one thing. As a Marine, I am fanatical. So 9 o'clock came around. It's like, hey, Michael's not here. We're starting. It's
Okay,
starting,
so
and
so
somebody's
okay,
like,
okay,
"Hi."
but you say that you're fanatical about starting, but your concept of being able, as a Marine, to say how many minutes you're going to personally take. Hey, man, I'm going to take half of this time.
Oh,
That was
irrelevant,
complete. Yeah,
irrelevant to the
yeah.
conversation. You have to flex. Indies can flex better with change. I mean, that's all things that you say. So
Yeah, so much
just
bullshit.
helping you live your dream.
You're so much crap. So right now, Craig and I have been passing videos of heavy metal groups back and forth, 70s, 80s, 90s, and it wasn't until the first 20 books to 50K. I'm walking into that large room and I'm seeing it and I'm amazed and for the first time I'm like, wow. And I hear heavy metal playing and I'm looking around and I'm like, who's my brother? Who loves heavy metal? And son of a bunt gun, it was Craig. He had jacked in his phone and he was playing some of his personal music. And I'm like, how have I known you this long and didn't know you liked heavy metal? How?
Metal, man, metal. Yeah, so we were going to a conference in October. I was flying to Vegas. Michael bought tickets. He's like, "Hey, I'll buy the tickets if you come to Vegas, and we can go to Judas Priest."
That's right.
I've seen
This
Judas live.
November.
I saw
Yeah.
Judas like 40 years ago, and the Hellbent for Leather conference or show, and it was amaze balls. And let's see, Def Leppard opened for them,
Hmm.
and then the Scorpions. It was a three
Oh,
band set. So Def Leppard, and they were young. They were 17 then. This is a week before their first album came out. And then the Scorpions. Scorpions were well tried and true, and they cranked. And then Judas Priest was a headliner. Oh my God, it was amazing.
I have checked out Baby Metal,
I'm
by the
wearing a
way.
cool mandala. I'm wearing a cool hippie sweatshirt now
Oh,
because
yeah,
I'm not all metal all the time.
yeah, well, but to the individual who talked about Baby Metal, I have checked out them. It was curious, but it doesn't take Sorry, it's just not quite the same. Babymetal's out of Japan if we're talking about the same band. So,
But we jammed, and then when we moved to Sam's Live, we were able to. They piped in some other feeds. I didn't have to use my phone after the first year. But we'll see. We'll keep jamming because we'll keep jamming.
it's time.
It's 50 minutes. We've been 50 minutes. We do have a tendency to ramble. And I find that out when I'm doing the 5-minute focus daily. Those are, holy cow, that 5 minutes goes fast. I really have to have my ducks in a row to hit the points I want to hit for those 5 minutes. So
No, I think
hopefully people are getting a lot out of those.
Give away something
What's
else.
that?
It's time to give some every 5 minutes, man. You
Yeah.
stuck this in my brain. Every 5 minutes, we must do this, and I'm like, okay, it's 5 minutes, we must do it.
Yeah, well, that's other people are managing that. You don't have to manage that, Michael. We're good. Other people have that. They've got the gifts. They've got the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Sit back. You're on brand. I didn't wear my Hawaiian shirt that I should have.
Yeah,
But
really, seriously. Everyone knows you
yeah,
in the
no
Hawaiian
kidding.
shirt. If you go to any 20 book events, you're going to see Craig in a Hawaiian shirt, even though he lives in Alaska. That was weird.
Yes. And we have last year's T-Rex outfit went to Rose Castro for her son. So I don't have that anymore, but I've got better.
Oh, but
Oh
that was
yeah,
a classic moment
better.
in 20 books whenever Mark Dawson is out there and all of a sudden you see him walking across the stage and he happens to glance back because he knows, the audience must be looking at something and he does this double take. And you know that he's like trying to figure out who's in there, but then you
What?
also see him take like an involuntary step back. It was priceless.
I was the only one on stage acting normal. You were up there trying to take pictures. Mark Dawson was running for his life. James Blatch was in the back doing things with his camera. It was crazy. And I'm
You
on
were
mic.
sweating.
I'm trying to wrap up the day. I'm the only one acting normal.
It was awesome. But what was also additionally awesome is people you would cackle. I would classify it as you would cackle when you were telling me your plans to do this. And you're like, all right, I already have this plan down and I'm gonna do this and I have a spot in the back and I'm gonna get into the costume and I'm gonna be able to and you were just laughing at how much fun you were gonna have getting Mark Dawson.
Dirty Dinos. It's all his fault. It's all his fault that for bringing up the damn dirty dinos.
Yeah, so we should actually get like a small, I guess, small erotica Dirty Dino book and just put Dawson and Martelle. Dawson Martelle is the name of the person.
I hope he's able to come. I hope he's able to come and we can sign that book. I haven't signed the book you bought that everybody is signing.
Oh, yes. Yes. So there, in the short, there was a book that Mark kind of went off on because the person went off on Mark, and so Mark broke the English stoicism and it made some comments about it. But then they gave it away as a way to try to gather some money and give that money to people who need it. So LMBPN purchased the book, but then what we did is like, okay, and the original was, and they will sign it. And I said, that's cool. But then we signed it and then we passed it on so that others could sign it and keep just as an opportunity to turn, you know, something into something kind of cool. So I have no idea where it is actually in the world right
It,
now.
yeah, it's I think
My,
Mark or one of his folks.
yeah, because
So hopefully we'll see it in Vegas and we'll be able to sign it. So somebody commented, "Thanks, Jess. He's never going to trust you guys again." Well, see, that's where he fucked up. He trusted us in the first place.
yeah, I was gonna say that should have been obvious. It's not like he hadn't met us before. He met us when we were running meet on the Thames. We're the
What
same.
the heck? You knew us. How are you surprised? You knew us.
So there's that, but he's also done a lot for the industry.
Oh
Oh my
yeah,
goodness
yeah,
gracious. Thank you. Just
yeah. Mark Dawson has shared an awful lot of information.
yeah, and it's been a fantastic ride, Craig. We met each other in 2016. Just at the very beginning. It might have been even slightly earlier, but no, it had to have been in the 20 books because I don't
Yeah.
remember talking to you on keyboards. I might have, but I
No,
don't
no.
remember it.
I dove out of there. I jumped on and I shared my first cover and I said, hey, I'm doing this book and here's my marketing plan. And I got dogpiled. And I'm like, hey, is this how the industry is? This sucks. So the and went over to 20 books of 50K, and it was like, hey, here's what I did, which is far different than people telling me what you need to do, and how much you suck, and so I haven't been on K boards in years. I should go back to that original thread and see who was jacking me, and see how they're doing nowadays. Because actually, it's the 29th, come payday, the 31st. 31st first, I should be over $1 million earned.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm at I closed out my spreadsheet, but I'm at like 900,000, 983,000, something like that overall. The payday, that'll put me over. I'll be over $1 million earnings in
Congratulations, man. That's
as an author.
fantastic. Yeah, I think I don't know that did I ever mention it on this show? Maybe I did last time because your Terry Henry Walton Chronicles is in the top 5 of the best-selling series we have at our company. So,
Yeah,
you know, amazing. And that includes like 3 of them are mine. So,
yeah, because you're
if you say,
Bethany. I mean, that is still the leading series, and you're going to give one of those away. The good
it has
admin
been
folks
given
will tell
away.
you who you'll
Yeah,
give those 7 book sets to.
yeah. Anyway, yep. There we go. Woohoo! Look at this, man. I can't read them. Congratulations to you, Craig, going past at the speed of light.
$1 million in earnings. Yeah. So back in those days, hey, I'm just starting out. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, dump on that guy. Which of course I took as that's the kind of challenge that I respond to.
Hmm.
Not hey man, let's get 10,000 words today. Well, I mean, I'll get the words I need to get, but that's the kind of challenge of you're not good in this industry because somebody actually commented that you should probably give up writing and you shouldn't be publishing.
I'm
So
going to answer this
that
question.
was
David Fleming brought up an interesting question, and actually, I was talking with another publisher who's been around a while who had the same question of people, and it related to what is your sales compared to how much you advertise? Because there are some people out there who might say, "I've made $1 million." Well, what they don't tell
yeah,
you is they advertised $800,000 to get the million. Now,
yeah,
I'm not saying that's not worthwhile. That's them. It's subjective. Hashtag whatever. But for us and for you, and I'll mention us, we look at our what we call um, our efficiency. It's a term that we made up, but our efficiency, which is how much are we spending in advertising versus income, and we keep ours less than
yeah,
20%. So you won't
yeah,
find us as a company spending typically just the Amazon and Facebook ads are somewhere around 10.8, I think. So call it a little bit less than 11, and then you can tack on more costs on top of that for newsletters. But comparative to our advertising, like true ad cost per click ads, it's a drop in the bucket. So,
yeah.
so ours is probably 14, maybe percent efficiency. Craig?
I'm cooking at about 20% of my spend, but that's some of my lesser stuff I have to
Yeah,
work harder at, and it just isn't as efficient. But my mainline series, my free trader, Terry Henry Walton, those are killing it. Anytime we can scale up, we've been able to scale to a certain point, and now my next scaling will be adding. Geez, I've added 1,000 people to my newsletter, and I haven't. I'm running them through the my onboarding sequence, which is 5 emails. 5 emails, I give away 6 stories, 1 full-length book, 5 short stories, and 1 audiobook in those first 5 onboarding emails. So I've got, oh, geez, I want to say a 90+% success rate getting people into the main list through that onboarding sequence. And that is where I haven't sent any marketing emails to them besides those first 5 onboarding. And I did put a couple things for sale in there. And that is a list that I will treat more tenderly to then market to with sales. And this will come in, next week with the big judge, jury, and execution sale. So
I
I'm
like
going to
that.
hit
You're like,
that. That'll be I have now over 10,000 on my list. So let's approach them all. And I beat this to death with my assistant, James Baldwin. I will go back and forth. Hey, what's the right subject line to make sure we maximize how that engages? So this is where I'm putting the focus of my effort to build that foundation further. And with a big newsletter list, you don't need to advertise as much. You advertise to bring them into the newsletter, and then you market to them there. And that is probably the most efficient thing you can do.
No, so there's an interesting question that was asked related to how much did we spend new versus old, and I can tell you right now that what you're really looking at is more probably hashtag probably related to the engagement of your story itself, because in the beginning when I was pushing 50, 70, 80, $100,000 a month strictly on the Cortherian Gambit, which is only me, it wasn't a company, 3 to 4% maybe was how much I was starting to spend at that time. And in the very beginning I spent practically nothing except that January when I thought Facebook is the answer, dump all of the money into Facebook, and it was not, by the way, the
Yeah.
answer. And so, but yeah, actually, in the beginning, it goes higher the longer the company. So, and that actually is only the Amazon.com sales. That doesn't include like percentages where you get the residuals or the supportive information off the audiobooks or anything like that. So, if we took all money from the company, it would be a lower percentage than that. But for the sake of discussion, we'll call it less than 14.
Okay, because on my 20%, I'm including that in all of my revenue. So I am at a higher rate, but really trying to, and what I didn't do is what you recommended a year ago, I'm finally doing it this year, was use the money on advertising that you're using there, that you're throwing at the wall, build your list. So this is, I've refined, I'm spending more on building my list and less on advertising. Actually, I might spend less than $1,000 this month on Amazon ads. So it's been they have been extremely effective. So by refining. So Amazon ads, dialing them in. Facebook ads, still spending money like a drunken Marine, and they're doing okay. We'll see come 1 September if we're
Then
still
how
dialed
you
in. But
cannot be if you were spending money on ads like a drunken Marine, you would be poor.
yeah,
Your efficiency would be 130% of 100% of income.
that's which isn't good.
Yeah,
130%. Hey, I'm working at 130%. No, that sucks. You want lower. It's like golf. You want a low score there.
score.
You don't want to say, man, I shot 130 today.
Yeah, I mean, this
Oh,
I see some of the comments over here, and it really is a weird situation. I mean, LMBPN spends so much money. We almost spend a decent American salary a month in ops costs, newsletter costs, advertising spend, things we're trying that don't work very successfully, um, and others. So we go through quite a bit, and it's just hard for me to pick out items that an individual with a certain budget, what would I do? Well, I saw that Facebook versus AMS. I'd go AMS. If I had a minimal budget, I'd go AMS absolutely first before I'd go to Facebook. But there just happens to be
yeah.
ones where Facebook, for whatever, or excuse me, Amazon, for whatever reason, you can't either get the right mix of people or words you're targeting or just whatever. And Facebook is always here. I'll just take all your money. Whatever you're willing to spend on me, I'll take it and show you to people. So, there's different reasons, tactics, strategies that you would want to do. And we've probably played with quite a few of them. Now, I'm also aware that, even for us, there are, um, things we haven't tried yet. Just because of a sheer size, when someone says this new thing is amazing, we have to look at it and go, that's true. That seems like a really compelling, but it's kind of complicated. And remember that if we implement it, we have to implement it, or we try to implement it over 100 series, almost 1,000, getting closer now to 1,000 books. So we can't try every new thing that comes down the pike.
Oh, and somebody posted cameo.com where you can get celebrities to give you a quick Zoom call and say, and wish you a happy birthday and stuff like that. So I'm exploring that, an endorsement of, hey, the operator, it's the books I read, just getting that from a WWE personality, a
Mhm.
professional wrestler, or Jonathan Frakes, he $200 for wishing somebody a happy birthday is all. So it's like, oh, hey, holy crap. But what does it take? Because then if you record that and say, hey, I'm going to use Jonathan Frakes. He said, these are the kind of books I read. Well,
Yeah.
I love Judge, Jury, and Executioner. I mean, that endorsement, what's that? At least get an in with people who are with his agent, with the people who are managing that, and what would it take? So could be a new opportunity. Celebrity endorsements, we know they work because otherwise advertisers wouldn't use them so much. I mean, Michael Jordan shoes, and that's what makes them good. Hey, people respect this person's opinion because they're an actor and they relate to him. But things like that. So even like Dule Hill was only $100 from Psych, and you scroll it, they have thousands of people. They have sports people. But Cameo.com, I was really amazed at what they had. And even if they won't endorse a product, still it's a cool gift to give for $40. They can call your mom and wish her happy birthday, and I don't get any better than that.
Yeah, no, I'd never heard of this, Craig. I guess you just,
Yeah,
this is really
yeah.
just wow. I mean, there's some gamers. If you're into gaming, you can do that, which would be kind of great. I know quite a few authors are also into gamers. Models, more animals, I guess, if you want to do that for your dog.
Katie Sackhoff is on there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, there's some in. Oh, goodness. Oh, well, no, let's not go there either. Something else, something else. To your point,
Yeah, I mean,
Jonathan Practice. Wow, he's got a beard. Did not know that.
but like all
Ah,
the like reality shows, like almost every reality TV personality is on there.
hey,
But
Larry Wilcox from Chips. There you go. Debbie
yep, he's
Gibson,
$30 was all. I saw that $30. You can have Larry from Chips give a call.
Randy Couture, MMA fighter. Where's I'd love to see if there's any Majid. Colin Mockery. I kind of like him because I enjoyed watching the stand-up comedy. Uh, that's really kind of cool. I had no idea. Gilbert Gottfried. Oh my gosh, I would do that just as a joke to my dad. Hey, Dave.
Hey, happy birthday! Fuck off.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Your son
What?
says this, so go fuck off. Sorry, we digressed. I blame me on that one.
We have degenerated 67 minutes. Thanks everybody for coming on to our 100th episode. The next episode, actually, I'm traveling next week, and on the September 11th, we have
September 11th.
I think Scott Kelly, the general manager or David Kelly, I'm sorry, the general manager of SendFox. So he's going to talk to us about some of the back end stuff about deliverability and some other questions we have. We had a thread where people are putting in comments of stuff they'd like to see. So we have a pipeline into SendFox to make recommendations and ask for stuff. So that's where we are. For the next show, I'm traveling on Wednesday. Traveling on Thursday. I'll do a few 5-minute focus sessions Monday through Wednesday, and then I'll be gone till the end of the following week. All right, everybody.
Ladies,
thank you.
take care.
And thank you, admins. Thank you guys for taking care of us. Anne, Elaine, Fatima, and Erica. I think you were on watch today, watching over us, making sure we didn't stray too far, and making sure we got the prizes out. We'll get those out today, hopefully no later than Monday. And thanks everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Peace, fellow humans.
Well, what about aliens? Aren't you going to peace aliens?